Hello friends, today I'm going to tell you about anime, where a boy awakens in a fantasy world where he can buy young slaves. Yes guy, I know, my English is so bad, but I hope you can understand me. Well, subscribe to my channel and enjoy watching this video, let's go. 70 years old boy Michio Kake wakes up in a horse stable. Michio realizes he can visualize the elements of the game and also remembers that before entering the game he had left some hidden items, among them a sword and a ring. As he leaves the stadium, he hides so as not to be discovered by a group of people passing by. In the distance, some bandits approach and get into a fight. With the peasants, Michio evaluates what to do and decides to get into the fight, killing all the bandits with his sword. Then the village chef thanks him for protecting them and offers him more weapons, but Michio says now it only asks for a room to sleep in. Michio thinks the game is too realistic and bored with playing the game. He tries to leave, but he can't. He is then reminded of a warning the game had given him that he would not be able to return to real life. At that moment, the village chef arrives with a bucket of hot water for him to clean himself. When they leave, Michio feels quality for those people he killed and promises himself to be someone who does good later. As he is about to leave the village, the chef arrives with a man who is apparently an infiltrated bandit. He watches him as his car changes from identify him as a peasant to a slave. The chef gives Michio the card of the bandits he killed and explains that he can change them for money in the capital, as each of them had a price. Michio sets off for the capital, guided by a peasant who offers him a ride. They arrive at an establishment in the capital where he can change in the car, but first a woman tells him that she wants to know what power he has after getting the money. He continues on his way with the peasant, and at one point they pass a scary place about which the peasant gives him a warning explaining that in the place there are thieves and girls of the night. Later they arrive at another building where slaves are sold and sell the bandit. Michio says goodbye to the farmer after selling the slave, and from that moment when he is alone, but the man who paid them for the slaves come out again to talk to Michio and ask him if he is interested in buying a slave, telling him that there are also women, which catches Michio's attention. While Michio is thinking about his discussion, a Baltor comes out and takes all his attention, which the man explains is a slave of the wolf tribe and that she is also a warrior. When Michio learns of the girl's price, he thinks it is too expensive and leaves, but the man tells him that he will wait 5 days. Michio struggles to collect the money, but he still lacks 7,000 coins. At that moment, he remembers that the man told him that on the outskirts of the city there is a labyrinth. Then if he manages to complete and defeat the monsters that are inside it, will give him a lot of money. Michio buys more weapon and ventures into the maze challenge. When he arrives, he encounters a group of adventurers with different abilities. Upon entering the maze, a free shepherd demon appears, but he defeats it while realizing that being in there makes him lose the will to fight after, so he redeems the reward, but only gets another 200 coins. At night, Michio again goes to the labyrinth, this time using a new teleportation trick that takes him directly there, while he thinks he might not be able to rock sides, leaving a hole through which Michio sneaks and finds a broken sword and many giant demons, which he must face while overcoming the effects of fatigue caused by the maze. When Michio returns to the village, he sees the body of a bandit who went to seek revenge against him for killing his group. Later, Michio thinks about becoming a bounty hunter since the money he has paid is a lot and he wants to buy the wolf girl. For that he goes to the LA, where the farmer told him he should not go, believing that there will be more bandits. But first they passes through a village, which causes him to fear because of states of abandonment, in which it is so. He decides to return at night. At night, Michio ventures into the LA with a lamp lent to him by the receptions. On the end he is staying. When he arrives, he passes through a dark area where women can be seen. Through the window on the way, a bandit appears and Michio chases him without realizing it, arriving at the village where he was during the day, and there he sees that there are many bandits gathered, so he looks for a plan to attack. Also remembers that the receptions told him about 2 groups of bandits facing each other. The next day he goes to the place again and manages to negotiate an information with a bandit who takes him to his room to make the deal, but actually seeks to kill him. Michio knew that will happen, so he kills him and then goes in search of the bosses and kills them, but escapes to the labyrinth when he sees that the other bandits notice it. Monsieur cut off their hands, so he could take their card, but for a moment he feels bad, and he states to hand over the cards, because if the other bandits find out he went, they will come after him. Plus it seems that even if he hands over those cards, he won't get enough money. Since it's the last day when he receives the money, he is told that the bandits had more than that he will be able to buy the slave. When he arrives and buys her, he realizes that Roxana is sad, and she explains that is because she doubts that he is going to look for Mejio. Tells her that for now on they will go to the labyrinth to get money. Rox, and without his situation, tells him that she would love it because she also has a fighting instinct. Michio realizes that Roxana doesn't have any shoes and gives her his shoes, and they magically adjust to her size. While they are buying armaments and shield, Michio tells her that he wants to buy a cloak since the previous one was stained with blood. When they return it to the Inito, sits on the bed and Roxana in front of him on the floor, but he tells her that she is free and can do whatever she wants, not to act like a slave anymore. Roxana replies that she just wants to be with him, and they will have a plus 18 scenes that lasted over 10 minutes. The next day Roxana explains to Michio that if he wants to add abilities to his weapon, he must find some crystals, of which they're very fair, but it also depends on the blacksmith to attach the abilities to the weapons, and as if that were not enough, only the dwarves do it, who are in the habit of stealing the crystals. Once they were both in the labyrinth, Roxanne tracked a demon with her sense of smell. Then she asked Michio for the crystal of a demon she had already defeated, and he told her that he had given it all to the guild. Thus, the two of them as a team were getting several objects from the labyrinth again. At the end, Roxana tells him that she was previously in another group. She was marginalized and not listened to Michio again. Tells her that she is free and can do what she wants. Then she sits next to him the bed, and he embraces her affectionately without realizing that she is falling in love with Michio. Gets crystal that absorbs magic every time he kills a demon, and returns to the labyrinth to defeat demons. Days later, they arrive at the mysterious door that will lead them to fight the demon boss of level 1. Upon death, the boss drops an additional leaf and grants Rock in the title. A herbalist to obtain the same ability Kaga insists on return and defeating the boss again. With this ability developed, Michio cook and craft health points. One day while Michio and Roxana are walking through the city, he notices that someone is following them and realizes that it is a bandit who is watching the house where Michio bought rocks. In the buffalo, Alan love he seems very calm. Even so, Roxana asks Michio to help him, and he offers his protection service. At night, while standing guard, Rocks and hears the intruders alerts. Alan and others are ambitious, and then Michio sees the bandit and tries to stop him with experimental magic, using an equivalent exchange spell, thus managing to explode an orb of destruction there. The bandit was carrying Alan thanks Michio for protecting his establishment, and Michio returns to the end almost exhausted of magic, then goes to the labyrinth to get more, so they go to level 3. Michio hears a mage to teleport to the Imperial City, so that in the future he can teleport with Roxanne. Roxanne and Kago are looking for a house to rent on the outskirts of Gatar. Thanks to Roxanne's experience points, they find a house near a labyrinth and rent, and they even get a discount, as their garden was very neglected, as the previous tenant had built a strange stone room. Without asking permission, they both rent a house near the labyrinth. While Roxana prepares it, Michio re-enters the labyrinth and learns that despite the number of explorers in it, no one has ever managed to overcome it. Michio discovers that no one has overcome the 19th floor of the Carter labyrinth, even though hundreds of groups try to overcome it every day. When fighting the first boss, he's disappointed by how easy it was, and before fighting the second, they decide to return home. Past Michio and Roxanne get those levels, there is one in which they encounter a demon chef that can really hurt them. When they return home, Michio decides that he needs a new member in his group so that Roxana doesn't get hurt again. Pogo discovers that monsters' rabbit skins are worth a great deal in tailor shops, so he heads to a dungeon to hunt them again in the labyrinth. They witness how the demon chef kills an adventurer who has been for 6 years preparing to defeat him. for the situation makes him reflect that one day it could be him or Roxana who dies. The next day, when entering the library and selling another demon rocks and sees that he has left his ludostone or the type used by Dwarren, blacksmith, to add magical abilities to weapon. Keiji reflects further on death and decides to write a villain if he wants to detail that in the event of his death Roxana will keep his wings and be totally free. Michio decides to buy a dwarf slave, but Ellen explains to him that the only one he has is a 16 years old dwarf, but she failed to acquire the blacksmith's skill. Sherry asks Michio to buy her and tells him that she is a level 10. Michio buys her with Roxanne's approval. I love Roxana seems to be a bit jealous. Actually, Michio decides to have Sherry try to obtain several skills so that he can get her blacksmith skill, but first he acquires her with a hammer. While they were having dinner, Roxana becomes jealous of Sherry when she sees that Kage was about to serve her dinner. First he notices Rock St. Jealous, and in the evening he indulges her with another plus 18 cents. Not connect, he forgets that Shirley is underage and does the same later. He decides to buy 3 more slaves for his group, Miriam, Vesta and Rutina. Thank you for watching this video. If you like it, please subscribe to my channel. Well, you have been with you. See you later. Bye bye.